CHADS Coalition for Mental Health offers a variety of programs to promote depression and suicide awareness and prevention. Joining us is Marian McCord, co-founder and executive director of CHADS. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
So there's a very personal story to how you started your organization, and if it's okay, I hope you can share that with us about why you started CHADS.
Certainly. Well, first of all, I have always had a passion for children. I am a pediatric nurse by background. I was in the business of saving children's lives. I spent most of my life working at St. Louis Children's Hospital. And I've been blessed with 3 beautiful and very bright children, and my story is about my middle son, Chad, who was the poster child of success on the outside. He was academically gifted, athletically gifted, and he had a heart of gold, a ton of friends. And we didn't realize until October of his senior year that after a long phone conversation with his girlfriend, he told her on the phone that he wanted to take his life. And she told us, and we got involved, and we called the doctors and got him into treatment right away. But unfortunately for Chad, it was too little, too late. On that first visit to the child psychiatrist, he said he had been thinking about taking his life since he was in 3rd grade. So 6 months after we had that difficult conversation, and after multiple medication trials and even electric shock treatment, I lost my son to suicide. And I always say there's no greater gift that God will ever give a parent than the gift of a child. And there is no greater loss than to lose a child, especially to suicide. It was Chad's dream. He was sitting cross-legged on his hospital bed, and he says, "Mom, when I get better," and goes, "I know I'm not there yet, but when I get better, I want to go back to my school and say, my name is Chad McCord, and I have depression." He wanted to teach other kids not to do what he did, which was to hide his disease in shame and silence. And Chad will never have that opportunity to fulfill that dream. But as his parents, we vowed to be his voice, to raise awareness about teen depression, and to get the message out there that there is hope and that there's help available for kids who have depression.
Well, I'm so sorry for your loss, and I know that that's a pain that never really goes away, and I see that what you've done is tried to transform his memory and his honor and what you've been through into helping others in the prevention. So let's talk about some of the programs that CHADS does, because you know, a lot of this, I believe what you're saying, comes from too the whole process that you went through with him in terms of the healthcare system and sort of the unwillingness or inability sometimes to really be able to address mental health, but specifically with depression and suicide prevention.
Yeah, absolutely. We are, our first program is the Signs of Suicide program. We are trying to find kids like Chad that are sitting in those school desks struggling with those thoughts of suicide. We know that 1 out of 16 high school students will try to kill themselves in a given year. We also know that we lose more children aged 15 to 24 to suicide than the top leading other 9 medical causes of deaths combined. So our Signs of Suicide program, we go into middle schools and high schools talking to kids about what does depression look like? What does it look like, or what does it sound like when someone tells you that they're wanting to take their life? We teach kids the importance of showing compassion to that person. Someone who's struggling with depression doesn't care about themselves, nor do they think that anyone else would care about them, because by that point their self-esteem begins to erode away. And lastly, we teach the kids to tell a trusted adult. It doesn't matter if you're the smartest student in this school, you've not been trained on how to treat depression as if you would be trained on how to treat cancer. But we know that there are great mental health professionals in our community. So trying to get those conversations going with our kids and to try to help that student who's struggling or themselves to access care. So that's the Signs of Suicide program. And
we're gonna, I do want to get into some of the other programs that you have. We do have to take a quick break, so I'm going to put some information up on the screen. If you want to reach out to CHADS, we've got the website right there. It's chadscoalition.org. The information you're seeing on the full page graphic there is actually about an upcoming gala to benefit CHADS. It's coming up on Thursday, September 7th. Marian's going to tell us some more details about that when we come back for our next segment, so please stay with us. We're going to have more with CHADS Coalition for Mental Health right after this break.